gonna have a stroke, don't do that. I like enthusiasm, but I like more like rolling enthusiasm. So it's really like ones that pop out at you that could be nervous. I'm very envious of Laura. She's got hips. I have no hips. Just like straight like that, which kind of sucks. Oh, thank you. You just want to get out of the next show, do you? All right, the next person that I'm going to introduce, it's always hard to introduce this person. I've known them for many years. I'm not sure where to start. They have a history in LA at the Improv. Anybody been to LA here? Yeah. So lying sacks of shit. History at the Improv, also Chicago, Second City. Improv. You guys like improv? Yeah, if you just have just stand-up or just improv, it can get kind of dull, but if you mix the two together, it can be magical. So I want you to get ready for a little bit of magic and give a big round of applause to our co-host, Lorelei Erisis. I can't see shit up here. What now? I see a shadow moving.
That is the awkward part, where being the tech person and the performer is awkward. Wait. You ever tried a pogo in heels? It's not easy. So, okay, good. So mostly I don't eat microphones. I just kind of like the propness of it. So I've been working myself up to this. And I was talking to some of you before the show, and you seem like nice, friendly people, understanding, accepting. So I thought that right now would be a good time to come out to you. I am a transgender woman. I know! The 6'4", Abe Lincoln-sized woman on stage with the Don Pardo voice is a transgender woman. I know! Crazy shit happens! I like to get that out of the way because being transgender is basically the most normal thing about me. Thank you. Other than that, I've had a really aggressively strange life. So you may have gathered from what Tammy said, and it's important to know, I'm an improviser, a Second City trained improviser, which used to mean that before I transitioned, I would go on stage with groups of people and like improvise. I did long form improv, where we'd go on stage and improvise like a whole one-act play. And then I transitioned, it turns out there's not a lot of transgender improvisers. So people ask me to perform, and I'm like, that's great, you know, I'm an improviser, right? I do improv comedy, and they're like, so you're a stand-up? And I'm like, no, I do improv comedy, you're a stand-up. I'm like, yeah, great, give me stage time, that'll be fine. And so basically, I have no idea what's about to come out of my mouth, ever. Just yesterday, I had a really exciting thing happen. This is for real. My official name change finally went through. Thank you. I am now Lorelei Erisis McLaughlin, which is incredibly exciting. I've been kind of going about everything, like lots of things about my transition, really backwards. I started my transition, on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, about 8 years ago. I grew these myself, thank you. I'm very excited about them. But only just got around to changing my name legally. However, I changed the gender on my driver's license like 5 years ago. So I'm actually gonna kind of miss being legally a girl named Robert. which I'm pretty sure got me out of a few traffic tickets. Cops would pull me over and be like, you were, fuck it, never mind, just keep going, I don't want to do the paperwork. My parents were hippies. Thank you. The smell of pot brings back fond memories of childhood. They were good hippies. I don't want you to get me wrong. They didn't neglect me. In fact, if anything, they were a little over-attentive. I was their favorite trip toy, basically. They would get high and play with the kid. Every so often, they would get a little over. Like, I ended up going to the hospital a lot because I'd have a sniffle and they'd be like, "Oh my God, the kid's dying!" And whereas other people hear stories about their parents, meeting and going to the drive-in for a movie or whatever bullshit that regular people's parents do. My parents used to tell me their tripping stories. One of my dad's favorite stories was how he one day was while my mother was pregnant, decided to do a bunch of acid and went out into the backyard where there was an old bottle dump and started digging in the backyard in this old bottle dump in Massachusetts to find apparently broken glass bottles, which he thought was really neat, and became convinced that this hole he was digging in the backyard was had become a pit that went straight down to hell. And he was a good hippie. He knew that doing acid it was probably not a pit straight to hell, but he's also a good Yankee, so it's good to be conservative about these things. So he said that he put down the shovel and he very calmly walked in the front door and very calmly walked up the stairways and very calmly went into the house and very calmly built a table from a log that he just had in the living room. Apparently, my mother tells a story that my dad came screaming into the house, screaming through the front door, pounded up the stairs, screaming into the apartment, and built a table out of a log they had in the living room. And wow, is that how obnoxious I am? I should mention that I was the stage manager at the Hollywood Improv for a bunch of years. And I kind of was notorious for lighting people. I would get really fucking obnoxious about it. I would flash the red light. And so this is basically karmic retribution. I'm going to thank you all for coming and listening to me babble on stage. Good night and slideshow.
Lorelei Erisis, keep it going for her. Take the fucking light.
You're doing great, Tim.
Shut the fuck up and get off stage.
Clap for me.
Shit that you have to put up with as a producer. Say a little bit of everything I heard tonight. Alright, your next comic, I wrote down some notes and I did it in the dark so it makes no fucking